This show features adults using adult language. Falcon!
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Geekquinox on the Two Hillbillies Play channel. I am Ji-Et-Toh, and I am here with my other favorite hillbilly,
Don Bronson.
And got some other guests here coming back from last time. Brandon, aka Black Moses.
Ooh, yeah.
And we got our buddy Ben, aka Blitzstar.
YOLO.
Is that yellow or YOLO?
YOLO, man.
Okay, alright.
YOLO!
Alright, last time we covered, we covered R.I.P. Savage, you were a man.
He'll never be forgotten.
Yeah. So we covered, Ant-Man and, Captain America Civil War. One other thing we kind of touched on, but we were running out of time. They're in spoiler because if you hadn't read the comics or something, yeah, big time spoiler. And some people have hit at this wondering if, because Joss Whedon, let's face it, he's known for killing off people, you know. I mean, Firefly was his baby, and if you've seen Serenity the movie,
Choo, choo.
more spoilers.
Everybody going
Your favorite characters die. Yeah, like shit just happens. So a lot of people are saying, you know, a character's gonna die. Well, here's my problem with that. Avengers comes out first. Cap's not gonna die because you got Cap Civil War coming out. So, but as we've talked about, like when they get farther and farther into this universe, these people they might not be renewing their contracts or anything. You got to make space for more movies and newer characters. Can some of them die? Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they can.
Let's talk about the most obvious. I mean, you have Civil War arc.
Yes.
Which is everybody's. It got announced. Everybody blew up like, holy shit! You know, this is coming out, and it's before a lot of other things I thought would be coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of in a rush.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
So it makes you think. Anyway, I'm not just enough about Civil War got talked about last time, but what happened after they brought. Captain America into custody. What happened after that? A huge, something big happened. Something really big happened.
Yeah. He took a bullet. That's what happened.
Crossbones killed him.
yeah, he's dead.
Elephant in the room, he's dead.
He
big
Cap, the all-American hero, the best of the best. Possibly the face of Marvel. I mean, really, if you want to...
if you go
it
back
could be
to it,
argued.
For a long time, Captain America is Marvel. Like, if you think about it.
Captain America actually come in, like, during a really hard time for America.
Well,
so,
during the wars and stuff.
So he is a very important figure.
Absolutely.
You had the Howling Commandos, and you had Captain America.
When they were
it was all about patriotism back.
When they were doing those comic books, they whatever was going on in the world at the time, they addressed it with their comic books.
Yeah, they were very political and stuff back then.
Nazis, sweet.
Beat their
Captain
ass.
America beating the shit out of Nazis.
The cover art of that alone, when Cap is punching out Hitler, that says it. So. I mean, it's a huge pop culture thing. So, but Cap dies.
That's something I think that may get visited. Might not be during the movie. It might be one of those ending credits things where you just see him, walking up those steps and then
but
hits the fucking ground.
When I think of some things like that, of characters getting replaced or knocked off or whatever, I think it was the character's gone and done. Cap has a replacement.
He does have a replacement.
And it is Bucky. His buddy Bucky, the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. There's Cap dies, it gets covered up by S.H.I.E.L.D., and there's that whole talk between Tony and Bucky. Bucky's on board. He's the Winter Soldier, part of the Avengers, part of the team. And then, there's that intimate moment where they have, and you have Tony's like, talking to Bucky, and Bucky's like, man, I just can't believe he's gone.
Cap can't be gone.
That's what Tony says, like, Captain can't be gone.
Yeah.
and it's like there's always room for him, and he sit there and holds
the shield
out
out to him.
shield,
Yeah.
and then you see Bucky kind of duck his head and pick it up.
And then it goes
It's
on
huge.
from there.
It's
it
huge.
is. And I feel like in comic books and even this, you could get rid of a lot of characters, but like Cap needs to be there and stuff.
He's a symbol. It's not. It doesn't. It goes back to that whole like it doesn't matter who's behind the mask. It's the symbol that matters.
Right,
You
exactly,
have to
yeah.
have Captain America.
Which
there.
way?
He's a symbol of hope.
I mean,
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I guess they knew what they were doing when they made the Winter Soldier, and
They did.
made,
That was all part of
yeah,
building
and see,
onto.
and that's what kind of leads to this. Make you wonder because Marvel is so good at tying everything together and making things fit, and they set so much groundwork and Easter eggs on things that
Yeah.
you don't think you know it at first, but like when they lay it out, and you're like, holy crap,
Even
I
for
see
me,
it now. There
somebody
it is.
who reads
Yeah.
a bunch of comic books, they still surprise me. And it's one of those things like I don't care if they follow the storyline directly.
Right. I mean, I understand you.
I don't
You've
care.
got to have.
You
some
have
kind
to
of
have some
leeway.
creative,
Yeah.
room for that. And man, I'm happy. I'm stoked. I'm excited. Man, if everything goes well, I hope these next few years is
Yeah.
bangers after bangers of movies.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let's say Cap does die, and they say, "All right, I want to know your just personal opinions, whether you know that much about Winter Soldiers, etc." All right, Cap dies. Bucky's a new Cap, or no Cap at all. What do you think? Do you want Bucky to replace him and keep going in the Marvel Universe, or you just say if he's dead, he's dead. Let it be that.
Oof. This is kind of tough. Cap is different to me than other superheroes because it's not just like there's Captain America. Like Batman and Bruce Wayne, you can almost separate the two. You can't separate to me Steve Rogers from Captain America
Because very good point. Hey,
he
I agree.
literally embodies the spirit that you would.
He's
that
Uncle
America-
Sam. Dude.
Yeah,
Uncle
yeah,
Sam.
the American dream, the
He
symbol
is
of
Uncle
hope and
Sam.
freedom. Yeah, he's
Like,
all yes.
like the dude who
Very
like,
good point. Yeah.
like he was saying to Tony in the first Avenger movies, like, you're not the one to make the sacrifice play. You're not the one to
Right.
lay on the wire and let the dude climb over you.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers would.
Yeah.
And, it's
Wouldn't think twice about it.
it wouldn't, and Bucky may be like that, I'm sure he might be, but
He's
golly,
cut
man,
from
it's
a
just-
very familiar cloth.
Yeah.
And the thing about and I'm coming from a point where I've seen Winter Soldier, and I remember Bucky in the first Captain America,
Mhm.
his buddy,
Yeah.
and then I've seen him in the Winter Soldier, and he's brainwashed, and
Right.
he doesn't even know who he is.
Right.
So how is that going to work?
Well, I mean that's an easy fix. It's they in Winter Soldier they showed how they had to keep putting him in the chair and erasing everything. Leave
So
him
he
out of
slowly
it.
starts to-
Leave him out of it long enough. I mean, it's a simple that alone's a simple fix. I mean, there's different ways you can do it,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
that's
it did
just
show
easy
it like
enough.
at the end of Winter Soldier, he was in the museum looking at all the
Exactly. Yeah.
all the stuff
Yeah.
from if they had.
So
some
everything can start clicking, and
Yeah.
and it can just go from there. But it's just a matter of
Is his heart going to be there?
well, see, that's what I'm asking
Is
you.
is as a comic book reader like yourself, in the comic books, is his heart
when
there?
you-
If you read the originals, Bucky is all up Cap's ass. I mean, he is
dude.
there. He's a younger kid. He's
Right next to
I mean,
he-
whatever Cap
he-
believes is gold. I mean, it's written gospel, maybe as far as that goes. It's
because Bucky was his
sidekick. Yeah, right.
one in a movie though. Like
They
Bucky
seem kind
is
of Bucky kind of takes care of him. a
Bucky
little
is
bit.
like superior to Captain
True,
until Captain
yeah.
gets injected.
Right,
So-
and that's where movie and comics kind of
and
different
that's
stuff,
where
but it's
a lot of
fine.
stuff is. And even in the comics, you see Bucky really struggles
Yeah.
with accepting that Steve's dead.
Oh yeah.
There's a huge part about that. He really fails. Those are huge. That's the biggest role in the Avengers to feel.
Mhm.
Like you can't just put his feet in those boots. Like
Right.
it takes him a while to really get into that. He struggles. Tony really has to step up to the plate and start taking care of things, and you just see this. It's almost despair that it falls into for a while because it's gone, but they're still trying to. They still have to be that public eye
Right,
to everybody, and that's what you really see out of Bucky, and that's what a lot of people can respect. I mean, is he Steve Rogers? No.
No, not at all, not at all. But okay, so brass tacks. A new Cap or no Cap at all if they die. What do you think?
Oh man.
A or B.
It has to. For me, it has to be. There's no.
There has to be a cap.
There has to be a captain. There just has to be. It's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there has to be a captain, but like, it'll. I don't know. I just have to see
Seeing
how
another
Bucky,
one would suck.
how Bucky takes up the reins. and
This
how I feel about
movie,
it.
the Civil War movie, is gonna pave the path to see what really happens.
That's true.
Because he
That's
might
true.
not.
He might
does-
not die. Yeah,
He might not die. They can completely.
we're going on assumptions, spoiler words for
Assuming-
comics, and they've already shown that they're not going to follow comics bit by
By
bit.
bit.
Yeah.
But they are very,
If he doesn't die,
very
I'll
good
be,
at.
I'll be like, that'll be fucking.
That'd be
Absolutely
fine.
fine. Oh yeah,
I wouldn't
absolutely.
be butthurt like,
Absolutely.
oh, he should die.
No, not at
18
all.
issues past this, and the death.
right.
Whatever.
But Marvel is very good about referencing the source material, but they've also shown that they don't have to make a good product
Yeah.
either, and I'm completely okay with that too. So, all right, moving on. The one I'm most excited about, November 4th, 2016. Doctor Strange. Dr. Stephen Strange hits the theaters. And as we all know, the big announcement was Benedict Cumberbatch has finally signed on. He's going to play the Doctor. All right. Before we get into what we think about him playing it, let's do a little backstory on Mr. Strange here. All right. Mr. Ben, go ahead and Blitzstar, tell us a little bit about Doctor Strange.
Strange, dude. There's so much to be said about Doctor Strange. He's such a key character as far as everything goes. He's your magician, man. He's the magic man.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours about it, but he's a very key character. As far as casting call goes,
Benedict Cumberbatch is strange.
That's true. That's
so
true.
it makes sense for
Okay.
him to be.
Okay, well, all right. Here, backstory on Stephen Strange. Stephen Strange was a very talented doctor. I mean, top of his field, and arrogance comes with that.
Yes, it
He was
does.
the cock of the walk. Nobody could tell him what was what. And then he got into an accident, and his hands were crushed and useless, basically. There was no fixing it. So he seeks out the Ancient One in a way of healing them, and originally he just wanted to go back to being able to be the doctor and everything. He said, "Well, I
that's
can't,
what he wanted.
can't heal your hands, but I can heal your spirit or mind or what something to that
Let's
sort."
give you an arsenal that's better. Than
Exactly.
your
Like,
doctor.
who cares? You could just blink your eye and blow shit up. Why not? It's like, do this. And he becomes the new Sorcerer Supreme. Now, there's a lot of backstory, which I won't really touch on. Although we should, though, because Kevin Feige came out with some of these announcements and said, Marvel's done with backstory. Now, I think they're going to reference characters as they go. Now, Cap had an origin story. It showed how he became Cap, why he was Cap. Iron Man, origin story. Missile blew up, his own shit hurt him, got a bad heart, yada yada story. I mean,
Iron Man won in 3 minutes.
yeah, there you go. So, they set up all this. Kevin said they're done with that. These characters are going to come out and be like, bam, all right, here's Doctor Strange. Hope you know who he is. Hope you know what he does, because shit's hitting the fan. I assume, and this is an assumption. Nobody knows. But I'm going to assume that these movies leading up into each other, Marvel always does such a good job of tying them together, that these characters will be referenced. They might have flashbacks or something during the movie to set things like that
They
up.
won't just throw something at you that you're completely not expecting.
Yeah.
And if you are not expecting, it's because you didn't catch one of the eggs or something in the movie. That's exactly what they want.
And I don't see it going as like, all right, we're not going to see Doctor Strange on the operating table like, hey, somebody get my scotch ready. I'm, whatever. It's gonna start out, and then it's gonna be maybe he's training with the Ancient One. I don't think they can go too far ahead. They gotta have some kind of slow down. All right, this is what's happening point. Which I'm as a comic book person, you're okay with. You know the stories. You know what's gonna have. To a certain extent anyway. Whatever they do with it is what they do with it. But you're gonna be able to catch the gist of it. My thing is can the general audience keep up with that? Can you just stick them in this reality and say this is what it is?
They did it with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, we are talking about 2016. Who knows what's going to happen? What's going to be plugged in other movies?
And that's true, and that's what I feel like they're going to do. And they start doing with these characters is to just.
I mean, the credit scene in these movies now are so critical because they just leak these little fucking tidbits of
that you don't even expect
information
that
about it,
has
like, oh shit,
anything to do with anything.
You're
It has
just-
everything to do with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you look at it and like, what the fuck was that? And then and then all.
Well,
of
I'm
a sudden,
sorry if Howard the Duck ties into something. I don't know. I've got
Howard
problems.
the Duck.
Howard the Duck and Beta Ray Bill fucked it up.
I think
That's a good team up. I'd watch it. I'm getting the bitches. You fuck the bitches.
I think just like anything else, the more you do something, the better you get at it. You see, with Iron Man 1, they used the whole movie to do his backstory essentially. How
was
he became
great.
Iron Man. Yeah, they almost did the same thing.
2
with
didn't
Thor.
get that much.
Well, he
2
was-
didn't get that much love though,
He was the only
and
one.
3 actually got a ton of love.
He was the only one that had 3 movies, though, right?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah,
so
So
far.
far.
so
I mean, he
far.
was the first one to have 3
Yeah.
movies.
Cap and Thor are both getting their thirds too, but
So I mean,
But yeah, you
Thor
see,
really didn't have too much of a backstory. He was just like he was the Asgardian.
well,
Son of
I
Odin.
think
but that is pretty much Thor's backstory.
yeah, his backstory is how he went from being kind of an arrogant god to just like, oh,
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to protect y'all
true.
now, and they
Right.
took the whole movie to do that.
Yeah.
Same thing with the first Iron Man. With the Captain America movie, it was like an hour into it, through his backstory. You're getting picked on, blah blah blah. Hey, now you're Captain America. You got your injection. Go kick some ass. So they're
Well,
getting
actually, it
better
wasn't
and
even
better.
like, hey, go get some axes. Like, everybody thought he was a joke even after that happened. They're like, holy crap, it worked. And then they're like, okay, what do we do with him?
Yeah,
Like, it was-
after he did that rescue mission, that's kind of, you're Captain America now.
Yeah.
So it's like more than half the movie, or not even half the movie, and you're Captain America. I think they could spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes on Doctor Strange's backstory, showing him being a cool doctor, maybe doing a cool surgery.
It could be
Well,
one of those
getting in a
him
bad
and, like
accident,
whenever
then, just...
whenever he does the ancient one thing, it could be so much as like him kind of like in a haze, like flashing back to being a doctor.
And I think
Yeah,
that's
they
what
could
it's
do
going to
that
be.
really-
I
they
really
could
think that's what
easy
it's going to be.
Spend 15, 20 minutes.
And here's the thing,
and get
though,
on
is
with
that to you? Is that okay to have not an entire backstory movie? Like, can you just say, all right, cool, I'm there, I'm with it, with a few moments of it?
To get
As long
into
as they
the
do it
action
right.
and to what you want to see out of when you pick up something that Doctor Strange is in, you know what to expect.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You expect a lot of arrogance, a lot of badass. That's exactly what you expect out of it. And when you pick that up, that's what you want to happen. And you're like, damn, I can't wait for the next week or next month for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
You can't wait for it. And in this movie, I do hope they do a little bit of backstory on it.
Right. I think you have to.
It'd be,
For a
I think
character
you do
this
think
eccentric,
it would be
you gotta
really
have
important
to.
to.
It's not like Hulk
Yeah, I
where it's
mean-
like, oh,
I mean,
gamma
as
ray
the-
incident, and then
Yeah.
As the mainstream comic book, I'm looking forward to the next comic book movie. As the mainstream person here, like, I don't even know anything about Doctor Strange.
Exactly. So if you show up to a movie and
I
he's
mean, I'm
like
definitely gonna do some
blasting
research
spells
now,
in your
but-
face, but see, even that's the thing though. The average person's not going to go do that research and stuff. You got to expect for a person going to the theater, you've got to set something up for them.
And you know what? You say something that's just perfect, because I think because of people like the mainstream not really knowing who he is, they're gonna have to plug him in one of those after credit scenes. I would imagine that's what they would do.
I mean,
or
they might
mention
plug him right in
It
the
could be
middle of a
something
movie. I mean,
it could
you
be
don't
something
know.
so simple as him. Like they just show a doctor
know
putting on
him-
some gloves,
him being
walking
the doctor.
into an emergency
they know
room.
people. They know people now that are gonna stay till the end credit scene. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like a.
Oh yeah.
It's like
That's
it's
their
a done deal.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would
And-
be okay with me though.
And, and Doctor
Yeah.
Strange, I imagine, would be, if they needed to explain something, they could use that.
It's amazing how much you can get out of a very short few seconds too.
Yeah, I mean,
like
They're like,
how
what,
much
mostly
story
15,
you can
20
take.
seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
perfect because everybody's anticipating, like, they're like, okay, what's going to happen after credit scene?
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking cool.
I can see that. They do that at say like the end of Ant-Man or they have that and you see a doctor just walk in, put his fucking ER gear on and that could be it and you're
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck did I just see? And you don't know. So I could see that.
Yeah.
You see his name tag.
Yeah, just strange across the tag. Yeah,
Dude, that
yeah,
would be
very good.
awesome.
Yeah.
That would be-
I'm there for that.
You're talking
part.
about walking out of hype. Oh my god!
Okay.
You know?
You know what else? If you look at all the ass whooping everyone's going to get in the Avengers Age of Ultron movie, they're going to need a doctor.
So good.
It'll probably have them like back at that one restaurant, just sitting there all like beyond pissed off. Swarmies just like, man, this fucking sucks. Why'd they ever agree to eating this?
Yeah.
But,
Okay, so the big announcement, it was back and forth. So many people were up for the role. Everybody pretty much knew Cumberbatch was going to get it, and we were just waiting for the official word. It is official. He is signed. What's your thoughts on him playing Strange?
I like Cumberbatch. I mean, I don't think he's a bad actor. I mean, look at the. This is a different subject, but I know a lot of people have like issues with him playing Khan and
Star Trek.
Star Trek, but I think he did a really good job.
I love
Yeah.
the movie. I personally,
It's a
you want
good
my
movie.
opinion on it? I'm like, go see
It's
it.
Star
Great,
Wars.
awesome.
Of course,
and he's
Star
in-
Trek, or
Yeah,
Star Trek,
but Star Wars,
whatever.
Well, I mean, it was their. To me, it was like the revamping of it to make it more modernized because a lot of people are like, oh, deep, like let's go through space and not have a whole lot and just talk for 27 episodes before we get into action. That's what for a lot of the younger generation, that's what they need.
And for that role, Cumberbatch, when he wants to, he can be really.
He
creepy.
killed it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
killed that.
Creepy and
He killed
He can be a
that.
really
Yeah.
creepy person. Like you don't know what the fuck he's capable of.
Well, I
And
think you
the-
watched
and,
this.
And I guess I have to ask, like, is Doctor Strange that
He's
type
more
of person?
eccentric. I wouldn't say creepy. I'd say
Yeah,
eccentric.
eccentric. I would too.
Eccentric would be the best word I
And
could
does
use.
he look like Doctor Strange?
I don't
That-
see. For me, I don't think he has the complete look. Maybe if he grew out the iconic
pistachio
little
thing he's got
Fu
going with the beard.
Manchu-ish thing that he has going on.
Yeah.
But that's where we go back to the casting call. For me, Al Pacino recently
He's in talks with it.
talks with Marvel for
Yes.
about a casting. A lot of people are in talks with.
But if you look at it like this too, a lot of you got Michael Douglas playing Hank Pym, you got Sir Anthony Hopkins playing Odin. You got Robert Redford
Which you
in Captain America.
You couldn't have a better fucking Odin.
Right.
Really.
So you've got these elite, big time actors that have been around the block, jumping in these movies and stuff. And I was like, hey, why not me?
and that's what I'm saying. For me,
and it's
Nanny, nanny. Boo, boo.
I could see Al Pacino playing Doctor Strange. For me, that would be my casting call. I'm not giving up on who they did cast, though. I
Right.
think it is a good choice. I'm not saying it's not,
Well,
because Al Pacino put in-
like Strange. All right, we just said eccentric and things like that. And Strange ain't no slouch. You got to be a smart son of a bitch to be a doctor.
You do.
All right, you've seen him in Sherlock, right? Don't you watch that show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Sherlock is
I
about as
forgot.
eccentric
Yeah,
as it
you can't
gets.
get-
I mean,
So,
to cover that kind of role.
But Robert Downey Jr. was a really good fucking Sherlock.
Okay, well, that's true too. I enjoy those
He's
movies.
about as eccentric as you
Yeah,
could
and
fucking
I
get.
do enjoy those movies, but like for the BBC show or whatever it is, it's good and it fits. So to me, I'm okay with it. And not only that, Robert Downey Jr. though, if you look at it like this, if you want to go back to like Iron Man in the comics, he's got drinking problems, he's got issues in
It's
life.
problems all
Robert Downey Jr. fell off the map. Had all kind of shit, came back, and I'm the king of the world. All right, that's Iron Man for you right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
so
him and Charlie Sheen.
yeah.
Rocking on, dude.
Although I don't see Charlie Sheen in anything in Marvel. I mean, he might could play like one of the weird alien things that
Maybe
get
a
blown up.
fucking
But
spoof.
yeah, he could show up for a scene
Where
and be
he
like,
like-
"I got tiger blood," and
Yeah,
just get
where
blown
he like
apart.
he might play a spoof of Hawkeye where he has a fucking chicken and like shooting up through a bow.
Dude, if you gotta remember, Charlie Sheen was in those movies.
That's what he's talking about. Hot shots.
Yeah,
Hot
Shots.
shots. Yeah. So, but that Al Pacino thing is interesting too, though, because Cumberbatch was announced. Al Pacino actually came out and like plugged the crap out of the Guardians movie. Like he went and saw it and like came out. Al Pacino.
Really?
Yeah, he came out of the movie and was like, "It's so awesome, it's so
Apparently,
good."
he's a big Marvel fan.
Yeah, I mean, he, it was
Well,
like
see,
showing
that
big
was-
love for it, and
That was gonna be one of my questions. Like, does Al Pacino even know anything about
I wouldn't say that he knows anything about
I don't
comics.
know.
I don't know that, but I know
It's not
he's.
Nicolas Cage. I mean, obviously, Nicolas Cage knows fucking.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. Ghost Rider's fucking.
For somebody who
Both of
loves,
them are
for
freaking
somebody who
horrible.
loves
You
comics so
didn't like
much.
the Ghost Riders?
I didn't like either one of them. They're
Oh my
shit.
god.
They're so shit.
See, there's probably some underlining reason why you don't like him.
Yeah, they
I
fucked
actually
him
like
up.
that.
So we're gonna have an episode before Marvel canon started. At some point, we're gonna go back and look at some of the things.
Just bash shit.
Yeah, like we'll just see.
And I'll defend
X-Men,
it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
X-Men for days.
Yeah, I'm cool with the first one. Third, you start losing me after that, but So, but what could Al Pacino play though? We know it's not going to be Strange. I mean, I know you like
Obviously,
him
they
as
already
Strange.
got.
It's already
I do
cast.
personally. I can't
Yeah.
speak for everybody else. I think he's a good Strange.
But let's look at some of the
really-
movies coming out though that he could possibly be tied to. You got Ant-Man's probably close to being done shot. Avengers is done. So you got Civil War, you got Doctor Strange, you got Guardians 2.
He's too old to be
He's going
Nova.
to be somewhere in that range.
He's too old to be Nova.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So I see him playing something in Doctor Strange though. I don't see him as
He's
like
not-
the ancient one or anything though. Like I don't see Pacino as some old wise man. You know,
He could
like,
be.
and
I could see.
he could be,
I don't
but-
see him as that, but I
Well,
see.
who's like the antagonist in Doctor Strange?
It's gonna be Mordo. It's got to be.
It has to be.
It has
Yeah,
to be.
Mordo has to be.
So-
In Doctor Strange, when Doctor Strange went and trained with the Ancient One, he had another student there, Baron Mordo, who was like the best of the best, and he thought that everything was going to be coming to him. And the Ancient One was like, Strange, you're going to be the Sorcerer Supreme. And Mordo don't like that. And, he goes off
So
deep
is it a
end.
possibility that Al Pacino may
Play the
be
bad guy?
that? Yeah.
I don't think so. Because
You know,
the
they
original...
just-
Mordo's really...
Either Mordo or
Al
Lama.
Pacino is.
My problem with Pacino...
He has played those roles where he is the bad guy. so-
Yeah, but... See, the problem is I
Is
need...
Scarface a bad guy?
Well,
Up to interpretation.
he's an anti-hero.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
But
If you love Castro, he's a bad guy.
yeah.
I cut you
So
up.
I don't know. He's just too old. He has to be some kind of mentor type character to me to be legitimate. I don't see him swinging on wires and shooting guns.
That's why.
That's why Stuntman exists.
Well, I mean, I know, but
And computers.
On a quick little offshoot, you know who I think would be a cool Sorcerer Supreme? And you might make fun of me, but James. Huh. Oh, what the hell's his last name? Friggin'
James Hahn.
Oh man.
all right, somebody Google James Hahn. Who
No,
knows?
What's his name? The dude in Covetous Shin. In Diablo 3.
Oh, the guy that played in Big
James-
Trouble in Little China?
Wait,
Yeah, the old China.
Balls of Fury. Balls of Fury. Oh, actually would be a bad
The ancient one? Yeah.
He's up for some casting.
I'm sorry.
He is up for some
You talking about
casting.
Covetous Shin? He played in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah,
same
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Sorcerer.
I don't know if it's for Marvel or DC, but I remember seeing his name up for casting for something.
I can see that. I
James
can see,
Wong.
you've
It
got
might have
James
been
Wong.
for
Yeah,
James Wong.
It may have been for Doctor Strange. To be honest with you, I think it was on
It's
that
a
list
it's
for
an
Doctor
old
Strange.
Asian dude.
Hey,
Now here's the problem though. He is all about the comedy.
Look,
His
Can
voice
you-
is iconic.
And Marvel does plenty of comedy. Look at Guardians.
Yeah,
I feel like Doctor Strange should be a more serious movie.
I do
though.
too.
I really do. So if that's
No.
the case, I don't really know about that.
all right. So growing up, I watched Big Trouble in Little China like
Also,
has
a lot of people, yeah.
every moment of my life
Yeah.
that I could, I watched it, and he plays a serious role in the movie. I know that's the type of action comedy
Yeah.
movie, but he's like a serious fucking bad guy.
Well, he's in like one of the blood sports, like not the original, I don't think, but like one of the offshoots with the other dude or whatever. It's like 3 or 4.
And it
Oh, a
doesn't
couple of them
matter,
were good.
Bloodsport movie.
yeah, that like that. And he played like a serious teacher guy in
Watch
that
Big
too.
Trouble in
Though.
Little China.
Oh my god. So, but anyway, but as far as Al Pacino goes, like I feel like it has to be some kind of mentor role. The Ancient One's got it. I feel like some old,
gotta be
Asian
Asian. He's
sort of.
gotta
Yeah,
be
exactly.
Asian,
So.
man.
Well, he doesn't have to be, but that's just what you feel. That's what you
Yeah.
you think seeing it.
I feel like they need to reboot Big Trouble in Little China now. Like they
Well, that's a
did
different
reboot-
episode. That's a different episode. But so I don't know. I mean, thoughts on Al Pacino, who he could play and everything. I'm not really sure. It's
I'm not sure at this point either.
right
but
now
what's
looking
the- what's
looking
the-
at the
what's the-
slate for what's coming up out of Civil War, Strange, and Guardians. Before going farther down the list, because I think it's going to be something fairly soon. I'm thinking he's just going to play some
Maybe
alien
something
in
in
Guardians.
Guardians.
Well,
Like
what's the last thing that Al Pacino played in?
Oh,
shit!
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
IMDb.
Yeah, the IMDb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't have like a recall of like the latest thing that he's played in to really tell like where he's at in his career.
Right. Well, that's kind of the thing is Pacino's. Everybody's kind of giving him a little flack because Pacino's just everywhere. He's doing whatever's offered to him.
Like
He doesn't have to do nothing, but Pacino's in a really, he's in a really, I'll do whatever somebody's paying me to do kind of movie.
I mean, I've seen him on like late night talk shows, and he seems like pretty fucking old. You know?
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
and that's why I don't see him doing something too high or serious.
Pacino might could play someone in politics, like in the government role, like maybe the president or the vice president, whoever's kind of leading the charge in the Civil
something
War.
in the Nova Corps.
I think that's something
feel
you
him
may
being
see.
in Guardians.
I feel him definitely probably in Guardians.
I think so too. That makes more sense to me is being somewhere in Guardians. So, and speaking of which, by the way, okay, before we jump to the Guardians too, buy or sell Doctor Strange. Like, who's freaking stoked about seeing it? Like, are you like on the fence about it? Okay,
I'm gonna see it twice.
You're gonna see it twice,
dude. When it comes to
the second Guardians,
no. Oh, what did that say? Guardians?
No, you said Doctor Strange.
Okay, I was gonna say no, Doctor Strange. Like, where are you at on Strange? Like,
well. First, I'm gonna get on Netflix and watch Doctor Strange.
You should.
Animated.
That animated movie
Yeah.
is very good, by the way. I own it. It's for a cartoon or however the hell you want to call it. It's freaking amazing.
I will have an opinion on it after I watch that.
Okay, all right.
me, Marvel, DC doesn't matter if it's something dealing with the media that I love and that I truly enjoyed through my childhood. And now in my young adult, that I will absolutely be there. I might not go see it 9 times like every Lord of the Rings or Hobbits movie, but I will definitely go see it at least once or twice.
Doctor Strange, to me, I have been dying for this since they started making Marvel movies. He is one of my favorites. I cannot be more stoked.
A lot of people love him.
I've been your friend for a long time. You never told me this.
I'm gonna go home and jerk off to Doctor Strange. I am so freaking happy that I don't justify.
Well, does he tell you about his Spider-Man undies too?
Come on, dude. I don't justify seeing like a ton of movies back to back in theaters. Some people do that, and I've never really been one to do that. This is gonna be the one that I just feel like if they do this shit right, like I'm there. I'll spend the whole day watching the same movie.
It'll definitely be very captivating.
Yeah.
To say the least, it will be captivating.
Yeah. So, but that's about all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us. Like I said, check out some of our other videos and stuff. We got the Minecraft videos up. We'll be uploading some new things soon. This is a podcast type thing we've been working on. We've got some other things in the works that'll be coming out soon. Also, help get the word out. Like I said, once we get these initial podcasts down, we hit a certain subscriber level. Things look like they're going good. We're going to start having some giveaways. And we appreciate y'all viewing. And also, anybody got any comments on anything? Like,
any questions?
Some suggestions, questions, things like that, send them in. And that's probably going to be the criteria for the awards that we're going to be giving out, or the prizes, whatever you want to call it. Best question, something like that we'll talk about in a podcast, or a certain topic that y'all want us to have discussed. Something like that.
Everything ranging from comic books to figures.
Right, video game. I mean, right now we're on this little series where we're nailing through the comic book things, but anything else.
It's what's very prominent right now.
Right.
There's so much release between now and 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
6 years. I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait to even get. We're on Marvel right now. Wait till we get to DC.
Yeah.
And we are going to touch many things, like...
Many
things. We're going to touch...
He's touched one thing a lot, but now he's getting ready to touch many, so watch out.
And my right arm is much larger because of it. But we're gonna get on video games. I mean, we can talk about anything that we want to, and we can talk about anything that you guys want to.
Exactly.
So just leave us a comment. We'll note it, and we will talk about it. We'll feature if we.
We'll give you a little shout out. I mean, if we like it, we think it's interesting.
If it was your comment, we're gonna let you know that you're the one that asked this question, or you're the one that wanted us to talk about this. So So right away.
Someone please comment about Power Rangers, because about the first 10 years I knew everything about it.
By the way, on topic, there is a Power Rangers movie.
Jason David Frank called out
CM Punk. All right.
to fight.
Wait. All right, we got to stop that one because I filmed an episode on that one already. We're gonna fix that. Yeah, that's very. We'll talk about.
I'm a huge
I
Jason
text you
David Frank
that, by the way. We're gonna talk about that. In just
Huge
a second.
Jason.
All right, we appreciate it, guys. We will catch y'all next episode where we discuss Guardians and Thor Ragnarok. See y'all next time.
Go Power Rangers.
Peace.
Finish him.